So today, let's see, because I do record these and I put them up there so you guys can find them. So the date, there's the date. This was our homework from last time, so I'm just going to do the problems and you just see if you guys agree. All right. So the trick with number one is you got to get all those x's together, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to get these together on one side first. So that's going to give me 8x minus 2, right? And over there, that's going to be what? 6x plus 8. Is that right?
Yeah.
So far, so good? Okay. Got to get them together. I'm going to move the smaller one. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. And then I'm also going to add 2. So I'm going to do both steps at once. I'm going to get rid of this at the same time. So I'm going to subtract 6x and add, oh, my pen is dying. And add 2. Is that okay? So then I'm running out of room. So this is going to be 2x, right? And then this is 0. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So that's gone. So equals, what, 10? Mm-hmm. So 2 times 5 is 10. So x has to be 5. Good to go? So if this was a quiz, 100% so far.
Really?
Well, if this was a quiz, if it was, and this was the one problem you had, you'd have 100. Right? You got it right? Ernesto, did you get it right?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Now on to the number 2, right? You said you messed up number 2, but you did it again?
Yeah, I messed up on number 2 because I added wrong, multiplied wrong at the beginning.
I bet, yeah, because of the negative right here, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to, like, when I look at this problem, the first thing I see is that I'm multiplying by negative 3.
Yeah, that was it.
And I make note of it because I'm going to mess it up. Like, I guaranteed. 9 out of 10 times, it's so easy to mess this up. So this part's easy because, yeah. This part, minus 3x plus 6. I bet you had minus 6, huh?
No, I have 4.
Oh, you just made up numbers.
Yeah.
I do that too. I definitely make up numbers.
All of a sudden, I was like...
So we got to combine like terms. Put those two together, right?
Yeah.
So then, man, ran out of room, so I'm going to write it here. 4x plus 12 equals negative 2x plus 6, like that, right? Okay, so this negative 2 is smaller than 4, so we're going to add 2. We're going to add 2. And at the same sense, we're going to have the x on the left. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that number that's over there on the left already, right? So this is going to be 6x equals negative 6. So x equals negative 1. 2 for 2?
No.
No? Okay. Maybe I made a mistake. Let's see.
Yeah.
Here, so before I look for a mistake, I'm going to plug it in and just check it. So let's say I was taking a quiz and there was extra time and I wanted to just see if I got it right. So I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to put negative 1 here, right? So that would be negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. So this side equals 8. If this side equals 8 also, then I'm right. So negative 2, so negative 1 minus 2, that would be negative 3. And negative 1 minus 3 times 3, yep, that's 8. This is 8 because that's going to be a negative, that's going to be a plus 9, so it's going to be negative 1 plus 9, that's 8. Negative 1 is the right answer. Celine, you got it wrong too?
Yeah.
Ernesto, did you get it wrong?
Huh?
Did you get it wrong?
Well, when I went back and I figured out where I made a mistake, I did it again and I got it right.
You got negative 1? Okay.
Yeah, I got that negative 1.
All right.
Aquí yo sí le voy a aquí le puse 4, no, pero es 6. Aquí abajo no,
Mira, aquí vale. Todo vale, todo. Everything is good. Why? I missed one step.
Yep. That's all it takes, right? Just miss one little thing and then.
Porque eso no es juntar.
Yeah, I think. You wanna check it?
Did you get it? Do you see your mistake? Yeah, I'll come look. What did you? What happened?
I think I do.
So this one, okay, so that's good, right?
Yeah.
And then why is it 2x?
I don't know.
That's not right. So this should be x, and then that should be minus 3x, and then plus 6. Oh yeah, like that right there. That's
Yeah.
right. But then you lost your x. So it should be x minus 3x. Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. No problema. Okay. You have all the truck keys right now, Ernesto?
Yeah, I got my truck keys.
And your wife's car keys?
No, I get a little.
Both truck keys or just one?
I might have the extra one still, but it might be in the truck because I didn't remember leaving that one.
Okay. Okay, so this was the tricky one, right? And so we want to find a common denominator. We want to find what everything goes into. So I think it's 20, right?
Yes.
So we're going to multiply everything by 20. Okay. So
Yeah, this is where I started doubting.
yeah.
And
So 20 over 1. And if we do that to one thing, we have to do it to everything. So that's what we're going to do. 20 over 1. But we're going to reduce first. We're going to reduce before we distribute. So then like 4 and 20, that reduces to 5. So you're going to multiply 5 times both of those. So that's going to give you 5x plus 5. Yeah? You good, Ernesto, or you?
no, yeah, that's where I messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just started distributing.
Oh yeah, you gotta reduce
didn't
first. Reduce first, yeah. Reduce first. And so this one, 10 and 20. Well, that makes 2, right? And so plus 2x minus 4, and that just reduces all the that just reduces all the way. Don't ask me why I wrote 10. I have no idea. Because I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired, and yeah, sometimes we do weird stuff when we're tired. I'm not complaining. I'm mentioning it. Actually, because when you're tired, this is a late class. When you take a quiz or a test, you have to go slow. Because it's so easy to just do something silly. 7x plus 1. X plus 7. Yeah?
Yeah.
So 6x equals 6. X is 1. Did you get that one?
No.
Hey!
No.
The process is good, but
Making little mistakes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. That's no problem. Mistakes are easy to make. Yep. I think what we'll do is in the future, maybe next week.
We practice.
Maybe next week I'll make some of these for us to practice.
Yeah.
I don't have anything right now, but I can make like a worksheet. Like at the high school, I have software I can make problems like these for you to practice without any issue. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do today. Oh, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. Let's see. Today's going to be, I know you don't have the book yet. I know it's coming, but it's, so when you're studying, you can still use the book later, right? It's chapter 1.4. And today is the 25th in 2018. What we're going to be doing is inequalities. What? The graphing. Oh, no problem. I'll help you out. Don't worry. Graphing, no big deal. No problema. Graphing and solving inequalities. Look, here's why it's no big deal. On Tuesday, we saw what solving means. It means a value that makes the statement true. And when we checked our homework right now, we just did that, right? Okay. What a graph is, I'll let you write that down first, because I know it's hard to listen and then write at the same time, right? Excuse me. What a graph is a picture of all of these answers. A graph is a picture of all the solutions. So a graph, it's just a picture of all solutions. And a solution is a value that makes a statement true. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out some solutions and we're going to draw a picture of that. Listo? Okay, so check this out. Here's the thing. Like if I had something really, really simple, like say we were going to do x plus 1 equals 2. Let's say we're going to graph that. This is not an inequality, right? This is an equation. Inequality is not equal. This is an equation. What does x equal? What's the solution?
1. 1.
X equals 1, right? We don't graph that because it's silly. Because it's just one answer. It's easy. But if we did want to graph it, it would look like this. So if we wanted to graph it, it would just be, let's see. Let's say that's 0 and let's say that's 1. Right there, right? So if we wanted to graph this, this is what we'd do. This would be a picture of all the answers, which seems silly because there's just one answer. But it would just be a solid dot right there on 1. That's it. The dot means that that number is the answer. So everything that you color on the graph is the answer. Okay? Now, let's say instead of x equals 1, what if we had a different thing? Let's do it over here. What if we had x is less than 1? If we wanted to have solutions to that, it's just numbers for x that would make this true. Let's see. Before we get ahead of ourselves, you know that symbol means less. So 1 is bigger than the numbers for x. So like, what's an answer?
Well,
but like just
yeah. Like all negatives.
So any negative number. So like x could be -2, right? That'd be an answer, right? Because -2 is less than 1, yeah? Or any negative. So I'm just going to write that, any negative. And we can already see there's a lot more answers to this than there is to that. Because like the first example we did, there's only one answer. And so there's no need to graph that. What about 0? Could x equal 0? Yeah, 0 is less than 1. Yeah, 0 is less than 1. No, I promise, no trick, no trick. But check this out. There's answers that are bigger than 0. They're still true, right? Like
1/2.
Like a half. Or like 0.999 ... Right? All the way up to as close to 1 as you want to get, but not 1. So the tricky part is how to draw this part on the graph. Because these are easy. You just find that number and you put a dot on it, right? We don't want to put a million dots. We just want to do it real quick. The problem is this part. So let's say this is 1 right here, okay? Okay. Now that means 0 is over here and like -402 is over there somewhere. It's all that way. And all of these are answers. The only question is, how do I handle this? So what you do is you put a circle around the 1. And that means you can go all the way up to the 1, but it doesn't include the 1. And then you can just draw an arrow, because that's where all the answers are. The arrow points to all the answers. The arrow points to all the answers. word of advice though. It's just a coincidence that this inequality points the same way as the graph. Because that's not always true. It doesn't always point the same way. So we'll do one more before we you'll see. Otro más. That's right. Okay. So here, you see how it's got that little symbol underneath? This means less than or equal to. And that's really, really important, the or. It's one or the other. Like, think back to being a kid. You're like, hey mom, can I go outside? Can I go play with my friend? Right? And she's going to say, so say you get to pick. Say you get to pick, right? You say, mom, can I go outside? I'm going to try to explain why this or is important, okay? So, mom, can I go outside? Mom says, yes, you can go outside, but you have to clean your room and do the dishes. You can have her say that, clean the room and do the dishes. Or, so you could have her choose this. Your mom could say, yes, but you have to clean your room or do the dishes. Which one would you want? The or, because you only have to do one, right? Only one of the things has to be done. And so when it says less than or equal to, that means the answers are either equal to or they're less than. So you have two situations that can satisfy this. So let's graph this one. Ready? Because for this one, x equals 1 is a solution for sure. So let's say that's the number 1 right there, right? Because it's equal to, it's not a circle, it's a solid dot. And then still, everything less than is all the negatives and 0 and all that, so that way. Questions so far? Okay. Let's do one. Let's do this one right here. Okay. So let's say the instructions say solve and graph. Solve and graph. X minus 4 greater than or equal to 6. So here's the deal. Here's the fact. Like one thing that you got to know. Solving inequalities is just like solving equations. So like you're using inverse operations, you're doing everything backwards, you're trying to get the letter all by itself, right? And it doesn't matter which side of the symbol it's on, right? So solving inequalities is just like solving equations, except if you have to multiply or divide by a negative. Then it's a little different, and I'll explain how that is in just a moment, okay? So, but you understand, like this one, there's no multiplication or division or anything like that going on, so that's just straight up just inverse operations. So what minus 4 is 6, so that would be 10, right? X has to be 10. So you could add 4 to both sides if you wanted to do work like that. X is greater than or equal to 10. So easy a caveman could do it. That's the only reason I can do it. So then our graph would be, there's 10. Now I have to be careful. Don't trick yourself by saying the arrow goes the same way as that. Don't trick yourself, because it's not always true. Instead, just think, what numbers are bigger than 10? Which way are they? Are they to that direction, or are they this direction?
Right.
To the right. Bigger is to the right, right? So the numbers that are bigger than 10 are to the right. So all you got to do,
In this case, it'd be a circle.
a solid dot.
Solid, yes.
Yeah. And to the right. Let me fill that in so it's nice and pretty, like all of us. There we go. So if it's one of these symbols, it's going to be a circle. If it's one of these symbols, it's going to be a solid dot. Okay, I'm almost done talking, and then I'll show you, and then we'll practice some. Okay. This I really think this is a lot easier than last time. The steps are easier, and there's less to think about. Okay. Even though it says graph, we got this. All right. Let's do one where we have to multiply or divide by a negative. Okay. So let's say we had. So here's what we're talking about. Let's say we had, let me see. Yeah, we're good. So I think you guys are good. You know you're going to subtract 5 first, right? Because that negative right here, it goes with the 2, not with the 5. The 5 is really adding. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. Negative 2x is less than 2. Good? So far so good, right? Okay, now to get the x by itself, you know we have to divide both sides by negative 2. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. Now negative actually means opposite. That means we have to do the opposite of this symbol. So if you divide or multiply by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. That's it. That's the trick. The algebra might trick you, all that kind of stuff, but that's the only thing that's really, really a hiccup. The graph, let's see, that's negative 1. Circle or dot?
Circle.
Circle. Does the arrow go left or right?
Left.
This way?
Yeah.
But it says x is bigger.
No, yeah.
That way.
Oh.
Because x is bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? Right? Okay. I know it's easy to mess it up, right? There we go. Okay. Let's see. How comfortable do you feel with those problems? Yes, good, easy. Not bad, right? Easier than Tuesday.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Tuesday was chapter 1.1 and this is chapter 1.4. You'd think it would get more difficult, but I didn't write the book. All right, so let's do it then. Let's try a couple. Here, I'll put, what do you think? Try 4? Like, so they'll each be different. Like each one will have like something that's kind of maybe weird. Okay? So numero uno. So we're going to solve and graph, which just means draw a picture of all the answers. And solve means find the answers. So we're going to find the answers and we're going to draw a picture. So let's do 5 is greater than or equal to 3x minus 4. That'll work. Let's say number 2. Oh yeah. Let's see, number 3. Let's try those 4. I know, fractions, right? Oh man. Well, we can't just practice the easy stuff. We got to practice the good stuff, right? We want to practice the stuff that is difficult right now so you can get help and it's no big deal. Right back.
Pues yo lo más, la neta, un poquito, cuando llego para hacer
¿Qué se come?
cuando llego a hacer el pinche gráfico, no sé para qué lado
¿Cómo te
arrancar.
regaste esto? Sí, me imagino que es.
Espérate.
¿Qué hizo? ¿Qué hiciste? Oh, aquí lo restaste.
No, lo que mal entonces. Sí, la sumé. Digo, sí, la resté aquí.
Ahí es donde me revuelvo porque se supone que el número así son iguales.
Sí, pero entonces
Entonces,
aquí sería 9. Sí, pues así como está.
Y luego cómo vas a tocar. Pues aquí se va a hacer igual a 3.
Ajá, aquí te lo doy por acá. Este 9.
Y viene negativo.
Entonces
¿Sí?
¿Eh?
Y viene negativo.
No. Negativo no. Yo no pude. Acá no, ¿no?
Ajá.
Entonces ya esto te lo doy por acá. Este es 95. Entonces 9 te da esa que es 3.
Which one are you guys working on?
The first one.
You guys tell me when you're ready to go over it, and I'll go over it. I'll just stand over here and look pretty until then.
¿Por qué?
Porque es 3 greater than this, entonces todos estos números son más chicos que este. Así no yo, tú haz lo que tú
Es que no me acuerdo. Ok, voy a hacer bien.
Sí, porque es positivo, entonces y esto es.
So, pues bien, ok.
No, yo no puedo decir no, igual sí, porque 3 es más grande que el este, entonces porque el 3 es más grande que el porque es greater or equal, ¿no? Entonces el 3 está más grande que el este. El 3 está más grande o igual que el otro, es lo que dice. 3 is greater than or equal to x.
A ver, entonces aquí no. Porque como lo golpeo me confundí.
First one's kind of tricky because the X is on the wrong side, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I did that on purpose. All 4 of these are kind of tricky. I did them on purpose.
Okay.
No, pues es la última.
Which one's making you go oof?
The fraction one.
The fraction. Oh yeah.
Starting it though.
Oh yeah. Fraction one's kind of tricky. You ready, Ernesto, or not yet?
I'm ready.
You ready? How about you, Celine? Are you ready or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Which one are you working on?
3.
3? Okay. Ernesto, you confident you got them right?
I'm checking.
I'm checking them. Okay.
I'm lost. You can continue.
Oh, you ready?
Yeah.
You're lost?
Yeah.
You haven't left your chair. How can you be lost? Okay. Here we go. Listo? Alright, let's do this.
Yeah, I think I got the 3 wrong too.
Okay, so let's take a look at the first one, right? First one we need to solve. So we need that number by itself. The x. Right? So we're going to add 4 to both sides. And we're going to get 9. Is that good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, divide. So 3. Right? Because you're going to divide. Good or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the graphing is maybe the tricky part. That's 3. And then I look at the symbol, and that tells me it's going to be a solid dot.
Mm-hmm.
So no problems, I hope. Now look, it says 3 is bigger than x. So like x could be 2, or 1, or 0, or do you see what I mean? All those numbers are that direction. So my graph's going to look like that. Yeah? So Ernesto got it right.
Yeah.
But your graph was the wrong way?
Just the graphic.
Yeah, so it's the wrong way. So yours went the other way. So like over here would be 4, but 4 it doesn't work. 4 doesn't work because 5 is not bigger than 7.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Next one. Divide by 5. Now, so it says x is greater than or equal to negative 5. It doesn't change because we're dividing by positive 5.
Mm-hmm.
Just because this one's negative doesn't matter. So that's your answer. And that one, solid dot again. And bigger is that direction. No, yeah? Well, what happened, Celine?
The graphic.
Again? Yeah. So look, look. So
But I got it.
yeah. So here's how I would think about it. So I know negative 5. That's not the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over here is the number 10,000,
Mm-hmm.
right? And over here is the number negative 10,000. One of these will be an answer. So which one's bigger? Which one is bigger than negative? This one is. That's why it goes that direction. Okay. Good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Buttercup. I'm going to add 3x to both sides. I'm going to get 1 is less than 7x más 4.
Okay.
Good so far? Okay, now I'm going to subtract 4, right? I'm going to subtract 4 because I need x by itself. So subtract 4, and here's what you get. You get negative 3 is less than 7 times x. Because 1 minus 4, now you're going to subtract 4. Negative 3. Divide by 7. Divide by 7. Negative 3 over 7, less than x. Now I don't know exactly where negative 3 over 7 is.
Wait.
What's up?
Yeah. We're good.
Okay. Circle, right?
Yes.
Okay. X is bigger. See, it says this is smaller than x. That means x is bigger than this. So 10,000, definitely bigger than a negative. That way. Now, Ernesto, your favorite?
Yeah.
Check this out. This is multiplying with x, right? The opposite of multiply is divide. the way you divide by 4/5 is you multiply by the reciprocal. 5/4. We're going to multiply both sides by 5/4. Now I'm going to do this side first. I'll do this one too, but watch. See, look, this reduces. That's 1 and that's 1. Or 20/20. Either way, it's 1. That's what you want. And over here, 5/4. Let's reduce before we multiply because it makes life easy. See? Circle less than. X is less than that, so negative numbers to the left are less than that. And that's it. How are we feeling? Good? Bad? Rock solid? Getting, okay. So should we try 2 more? Dos más. Okay. Are you ready? Let's do, let's do this one right here. Let's do this. 3x plus 2 less than or equal to 11. And then ooh, that one's kind of tricky. But I think you can handle the second one. It's similar to what we did the other day.